Welcome to Roll to Hit Gaming's Impressions. In this video, we conclude our 3-part game showcase. We've gone into the box, through the rules, and out onto the table. The time has come to tell you what we thought of the game. Thank you for joining us. Let's head into the game room for your Roll to Hit Gaming Impressions host.
Welcome back. I'm Lucas from Roll to Hit Gaming, and today I'll give you my impressions of publisher Bellwether Games' action programming battle of Windup toys. Before we get to the review, let's take a brief look back at designers Jessica Chu and Katie Cow's game of cataclysmic toy combat, Windup War. Collect your army, wind your toys, and strap on your helmet for Windup War from Bellwether Games. Each turn, players program or wind up 5 actions and execute them simultaneously, hoping to destroy opposing units, block damage dealt to their own units, charge into battle to score points, or set bombs, tactically planning the future destruction of their foes. When the smoke clears, only one can be declared the champion of Windup War. If you regularly follow our channel, you'll know that this is not going to be a game that would normally appeal to me, and perhaps this is a little early in the review to make a statement like this, but I had a ton of fun playing Windup War. When I was a kid, pulling out your G.I. Joe action figures and going to war was huge in my neighborhood. Having had young children myself, I've seen Toy Story about 500 times because that film once played on loop and without interruption in our house for months. For me, this game combines these two things into a quick, simple, riotous good time. We played this from 2 players all the way up to 6. And while it's a good time at 2, the more players you can get, the better time you'll have. The game scales incredibly well to accommodate those player counts, and the time added is only a few minutes. Part of the charm of this chaotic toy battle lies in the perfect balance it strikes between the richness of experience and its playtime. The box lists the recommended ages as 8 plus, which is probably a pretty good indicator. I think depending on the kid, the younger children could probably play this, but at 8 or higher, they're really into the theme and the action programming doesn't fly over their heads, making this a great game to play with your younger gamers. I wouldn't really worry about an upper age limit because honestly, our group of around 40-somethings really got into it. Looking for a con in gameplay, it has to be that players get eliminated as the game moves along. Now, we all know that it's not fun to be out of the game while it moves forward without you, but I felt like that's mitigated a bit in this one by the fact that you're only out of the actions for a few minutes until the game ends. On occasion, a game will end on points. Basically, if you execute a charge action and no other player also chooses that action at the same time, you score a point. Now, this is an interesting wrinkle because you permanently sacrifice a card which will serve as your score marker. So this makes for a tough decision at times. That being said, we found out that most games end with only one army standing. Now, while I like an alternate method of victory, I worried that this points method would bring the game down or make for cheap wins. But fortunately, it never worked out that way, and even the games we had that ended on points did so later in the game, and it's not quite as easy to score those points as you might think going in. A big gameplay plus for me is the simultaneous play. You are always involved with each action and there's 0 downtime. Again, big plus for me. To wrap up gameplay, I should also note that this game is completely symmetrical. Each faction's units have the same ribbons, which, as we talked about in our first look, dictate which action cards a given unit can execute. This means that the only real difference between the 6 different factions is the art. Now, if you aren't a fan of symmetrical games, I don't think Windup War is going to change your mind on that. But I do feel that the depth of play here is in the timing of your action cards. Sometimes you'll need to plan ahead based on whether or not you think your unit will still be alive by the time this specific action card is flipped. That's a tough decision sometimes because I've had it work out perfectly, and sometimes I've had it fail, causing actions to break. That adds a nice wrinkle to make a symmetrical game more exciting. We're all on level footing when the game starts, but as we make choices, our games unfold differently, and that's exactly the kind of thing I look for in a good game. Moving on to art and components, the art in Windup War is top notch. Each faction has 6 different units, and we had players around the table reminiscing about childhood toys they had which resembled this art. I personally enjoy the style, and I felt that it added to the thematic appeal of this game. The cards are good quality, but as a nitpick, I think I would have preferred the cards be just a bit bigger, but that's a personal preference thing. Each faction fits into its own box, and all 6 boxes fit nicely in the main box, which has room for expansion. As an added touch, I like the magnetic lid, which keeps everything secure. Overall, a great presentation from this little game. In conclusion, I think Windup War is a great game, which can be either an excellent filler game, or you can play multiple times over a couple of hours, having a great time along the way. I think this game appeals not only to kids, but groups of adults looking for a light-hearted good time and maybe a little trip down memory lane. For these reasons, I'm going to give Bellwether Games Windup War a die rating of D10. If you're looking for a quick, silly, fun, economically priced game that accommodates up to 6 players, I don't think you'll be disappointed, and I would definitely recommend this title. Thank you for joining me for our impressions of Windup War. I hope you found this video helpful as you decide whether or not this is a game you're interested in. If you're looking for more content, please visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel and look for the links to our social media in the description box below. For Roll to Hit Gaming, I'm Lucas, and thanks for playing along.
Thank you for joining Roll to Hit Gaming to see and hear our impressions of this game. Details of our dice rating system can be seen on your screen now. If you liked what you saw and want to see more, please click the like and subscribe buttons. Find us on Facebook and Twitter. Join in the conversation in the comments below.